Alright, in this lesson we're going to cover what it means to be squared and cubed. You've heard me use these terms probably in a few of the videos before, but we just want to go in depth over what it really means. So, when we're dealing with exponents, we have a variety of exponents. You can have an exponent of any size. You can have an exponent of 2, sorry, that's supposed to be a 2, or you could have an exponent of 2, sometimes mice don't work. So you could have an exponent of 202. So this could be 7 to the second power or 7 to the 202nd power. And this would of course be an enormous number. 7 times itself 202 times is huge. And 7 times itself just once is not as big. But for the most part we would refer to this as 7 to the 202nd power. You've heard me say that before in other videos. You could also have 7 to the 35th power, 7 to the 4th power, 7 to the 3rd power, and 7 to the 2nd power. And for the most part, we'll refer to them as 7 to the whatever number power. But in 2 cases, we have special terms to refer to these. So 7 to the 3rd power would also be written as 7 to the 3. And this can also be called 7 cubed. And then 7 to the 2nd power, or 7 to the 2, would also be considered 7 squared. These are the only 2 with special names, and the reason that they have these special names comes from geometry. So let's go over why these 2 have their names. If you're familiar with this, you are already a genius, and I don't know what else to say. Go excel in life, and I'll see you later. But if you just want to get a little bit of review, here we go. So when we have a square, let's make this a square. Perfect. This is a square, and this square has 4 sides, but they're all equal lengths. So if we wanted to find the area of this square, and let's say that this square has a side of 7 inches, which means that all its sides, of course, are 7 inches, and 7 inches, and 7 inches. Well, we want to find the area of the square. Now, the area of a square in geometry is figured out by multiplying 2 sides of a square. So in this case, we would take this side, multiply its length by this side, and that would give us the area of the entire square. So we'd have 7 times 7, also written as 7 squared. And that's where it got its name, because when we're finding the area of a square, we can just multiply the same number by itself, which is essentially what 7 to the 2nd power means. And so 7 squared is the same thing as 7 times 7, or 7 to the 2nd power. And it comes from this geometry. I don't know if it's a term, equation, something. Now, when you get cubed, so this is squared. Squared. Alright, so cubed, as you might imagine, comes from the fact that when we are trying to find the area of a cube, let me draw a very poor depiction of a cube right here. Alright, we're finding the area of a cube. So this is 7 inches still, and this is 7 inches, and all the sides of this cube are 7 inches. And when we're finding the area of the cube, we need to multiply this bottom length side, let me turn it red, this length side by this side, also divided by how deep or how far back our cube goes. So by 3 sides in order to find the area of a cube. So in this case we would have this side, 7, times this side, 7, that's the area of a square, times how deep our cube is, times 7, which would also be written as 7 to the 3, or 7 to the 3rd power, and so that is cubed because it tells us the area of a cube. Joop, joop. Alright, so when you are looking at a variety of problems that have squared or cubed exponents, so let's say we are dealing with this problem. A, B, in parentheses, and both A and B are squared. Well, what does that mean? It means that we have a side AB, we don't know if for sure what the side's length is, but we have AB times AB, and we could write this out in another way as A squared times B squared. So this could be one way of writing it, or we could also see it written like this. Either way would be the same answer, because it's all just multiplied together. You might also see terms like this, A plus B in parentheses, and this is squared. And this is what you're going to see more commonly because there's a specific equation or formula known as the quadratic formula that specifically uses a combination of terms like this to help you figure out the length of lines in a triangle and that sort of thing, which can be very helpful when you're doing anything that requires calculating how much of something you need to cover a triangular section of wall or cut a triangular section for some construction project. I didn't even know anything that needs a triangle, you probably need to know or be familiar with this formula. So that's why it's very important to become a little bit familiarized with this situation right here. A plus B all squared. Well, what's that look like? Well, it's going to look like A plus B times A plus B, and two parentheses next to each other just indicates that they're multiplied together, so we don't need a multiplication symbol between them. And what does that look like? Well, when we're going to do this one, they might not want me teaching you this yet. Oh, yeah. They don't want me teaching you exactly it yet, but I'm going to do it anyway. When you're doing this, you're going to do like, okay, well, what's A times, oh, never mind. I'm going to just leave it at that for now. What they want to show you, however, is that you can get the same answer from doing a problem either this way or written out like this. So let's do it this way. If you say that A equals 4, I'm just getting my set ahead of myself on these lessons, and B equals 2, and we want to solve this problem. So A is 4 plus B 2, and all of that is squared. Well, 4 plus 2 we know is 6, and 6 squared, 6 times 6 is 36. So that's the answer to that side. But we can also do it this way. We have A, which is 4, plus B, which that's supposed to be a plus sign, plus B, which is 2, and then A, which is 4, plus B, which is 2, and I'm supposed to put a 2 right there. And then we have 4 plus 2 is 6, and that is multiplied by 4 plus 2 is 6, and 6 times 6, as we know, is 36. So same answer, it's just written out two different ways. And sometimes it might be helpful to see the expression written out like this in the really long form, and sometimes it might be more helpful to see it written out like this in the short, simplified, kind of more concise form. So we can reverse these if we wanted to back into this form, whatever we needed to do to make it just easier for our brains to figure out the problems that we're doing. Alright, so we're going to do one additional problem, and that is 12 minus A squared Alright, so work through that one if you can. You want to write it without parentheses or without an exponent. Alright, so in this case, and on your worksheet, I just wanted to make this clear for you so you know exactly what you were trying to do on your homework. In this case, we would just write this one out as 12 minus a times 12 minus a. And that is going to be the final answer that you would be looking for on your worksheet for your homework this week. There will also be a review section on your homework this week just to cover some of the concepts we've already been working on. So make sure you do those review problems, and I'll see you in the next video.